Hello everybody, this is Emma Scott, Representation Manager from CIPS. This is another one of our podcasts in our coronavirus series, and we're joined today by Patrick Dunne from Sainsbury's. Patrick is Group Director of Property, Procurement and Cost-Based Transformation at Sainsbury's. Patrick's been there since about 2017. Prior to that, he was at Walgreens Boots and Nissan. So thank you for joining us, Patrick, today.
My pleasure.
And we're going to talk today about Patrick is our Leader of the Year from our CIPS Supply Management Awards, and also his team was Team of the Year, so a double accolade there. So really I wanted to talk to you, Patrick, today about how it's been for you and your team really from this changing working environment. You know, these are challenging times for us all, but how are you coping with this new way of working?
It's, as you say, it's been challenging times, interesting times. You know, the last 4 weeks has probably been the most intense in my career that I've known, and I've been in the business for 30 years. First and foremost, you know, when dealing with people, it's all about the safety of the people, colleagues and customers. I work in Sainsbury's, and so, you know, feeding the nation is the campaign the government's running, so we're sort of busier than ever in the front line. But I've actually enjoyed it as well, actually. I've learned a lot of new things, maybe we can talk about later, but you know, a crisis brings out the best in people, I think, and the way the country's rallied around, the way the grocery retail sector has rallied around, collaborated on certain things has been pretty impressive. And I think the procurement industry in itself as well, you know, the amount of contacts and interactions I've had with people that I haven't spoken to for a few years, that has helped me get things done, has been pretty impressive, actually. Pretty difficult times, but also a lot of learning and quite a bit of excitement as well, the way we've been working.
I mean, you're very much a people person. I mean, that must be quite difficult working kind of in isolation a bit.
Yeah, I'm very hands-on, like to be in and among the people. And so the first few days was quite interesting, being isolated, remote. This Zoom, Teams, Skype even, you know, without that, I think, yeah, I would probably be carried away in a white suit by now, you know, but actually with the video interaction with my colleagues and, you know, customers in stores and store managers has been really, really helpful, because you get real-time feedback. And yes, you would have got that in meetings, but you know, at the moment, I think the way of working, this is as productive, if not more productive for us, actually. We've actually learned an immense amount about how effective we can actually be being outside of an office-based environment. And some of the projects we've been working on, the lead times we've been able to achieve have been pretty record-breaking by our standards. You know, we want to learn from that and see how the new norm, as they call it, can be developed going forward.
And your team, I mean, you've got quite a large, disparate team. How are they coping with the working remotely?
Quite positively, actually. Now, I have a very young team, and so technology and working agile, you know, it's a Sainsbury's thing. Because we have such an extensive store network, it used to be, you know, procurement 2.5, 3 years ago was based out of London. Sort of when I took over, I allowed, you know, any recruitment anywhere in the country, you can work from wherever you want to be. And so, and of course, I give the tools, and the company gives the tools and technology to allow that to be so. So for us, it's been quite easy. It's actually been quite positive as well, because when you have 3 or 4 locations around the country, socializing sometimes was location-based, whereas now, actually, it's neutral. Everybody can jump on a coffee roulette, or you know, it used to be monthly payday drinks. Now it's Friday drinks. So you know, four times a month now. But because it's agnostic to location, it actually allows everybody to participate in lots more events that we're organising. So people got to know each other a lot better as well.
And I guess you're quite geared up technology-wise then at Sainsbury's to be agile. Have you had to get new technology in, or?
I wouldn't say new technology. I think we've accelerated the use of it. I think not just within Sainsbury's. I think the situation we all find ourselves in has almost given us a generation leap in the terms of the usage of technology. And so, you know, yes, we were rolling out Teams across our company, and we have been using it, but it was going to be universally used over the next 12 to 18 months. Within 2 to 3 weeks, we managed to achieve that. And so I think we've advanced really quickly the usage of the technologies as the new norm. Social media, I think, has been really critical, at least in our situation. I've used social media very effectively, because the pace we had to run at, the solutions we had to try and identify, being able to access a worldwide network of people who could give advice, give counsel, and a lot of companies have done a lot of business with us over the last few weeks on the back of that. So I think the advance of social media has really come of its own in the last month, particularly platforms like LinkedIn. But yeah, I wouldn't say we've any new technologies. I think we've just universally accepted the technologies and are using it in a much more effective way. And yeah, the good news is that your suppliers, your stakeholders are all in the same situation. And so I describe it as a generation leap, in that we've all had to accept it really quickly, overnight almost. No, Zoom, the amount of people I hear talking about Zoom now, I
Yes.
hadn't heard about Zoom a month ago.
I know, it's a fight between me and my children on who gets on the Zoom account at the moment. Yeah.
I haven't yet adopted TikTok. I've looked at it, but I'm not a TikToker. But we'll leave that for another crisis.
And how difficult has it been working remote? I mean, you are responsible for property as well, and all of the property throughout the Sainsbury's portfolio, and your team with suppliers. How difficult or easy has it been to reach out to stakeholders and suppliers?
As I said earlier, I think everybody has found themselves in a unique situation, and so it's been universally isolation for everyone, which means lots of people are readily available on the end of a Skype or a video. So it's actually been really much easier. And to bring it alive for you, just one of hundreds of projects. Around about Friday, the 20th of March, we decided we need to put sneeze screens into your stores to protect colleagues, but also to improve customer journey experience. The 20th, we decided that we tendered it over the weekend. We had samples designed on the Tuesday, and then 25,000 installations later, we finished on April the 6th. With over 50 companies involved. Quite a military exercise, but we did in 2.5 weeks what would normally take us 4 to 6 weeks, all in a remote, isolated way. And so, yes, we had colleagues in store overnight installing lots of equipment, but that's just one example of the ability to become even more effective. And now you could say in any crisis, people rally to the flag, rally to the cause. And so, I would say we're running at a pace that is probably not sustainable, and we have been running at that pace for the past 4 weeks. So we need to find what the new norm is in that, but certainly the effectiveness and the efficiency with which we've been able to utilize the technology and still have good dialogue with suppliers has been pretty special, and we won't want to lose that. I think the second thing I would say is very early on with both my tenants, that I have a lot of property where we have other retailers in there, I have concession partners, and of course landlords. I proactively started dialogue with them from day one and did a number of things to help them. But fundamentally, we were talking to each other very, very frequently and still continue to do so. And I think that communication has held us in good stead, as we needed then lots of things to get done very quickly. And we've had a lot of nice feedback, and I think that in itself is just telling of getting stuff done. The relationships underpinning all of that has been pretty important for us. But keeping good communication, good dialogue through the technology has been important to us.
And I guess these are challenging times for you as a leader. Have you had to adapt your style under the current conditions?
Yeah, I'm probably best asking my team that, but being very hands-on, the positives, I'm very decisive, so I get stuff done, and directionally we know what we have to do very quickly, and we get on with it. The downside of that is I want everything done yesterday, and so that puts a little bit of added pressure. And so, yeah, maybe there was more phone calls needed from me to follow up on things. But I think as a leader, I excel in a change environment. My whole career has been about change. And so a crisis like this sort of allows me to step forward a little bit more and help the business in general. I worry for other people who may not like that. So the positives I see and the positives my team see, I think it's too early yet to say that the work from home has been truly successful. For us, it has been so far, but I think socially and for the well-being of colleagues, the work-life balance gets blurred a little. You can find yourself sitting at the desk for 14, 16 hours sometimes, and you realize it's 9 o'clock at night. And so we're going to have to reflect on that to see, what are all the positives we've had. And already as a team, as a company, actually, we're already thinking about the back to work norm. We're asking all of the teams to start bringing, collectively, what are the good things that we've enjoyed in this period? What are the things that we haven't enjoyed and we can learn from, and so that we can start to get a good view on creating what is the new norm for the new working environment, whatever that will be in the next few short and medium term.
So all of the challenges that you've faced over the past few weeks, what are those lessons learned? What are those things that you would take forward, and those that you're looking forward to getting back into the office?
On the last point, I'm not sure I'm looking forward to getting back into the office, but I'll come back to that. I think first and foremost, colleague safety, colleague well-being is at the forefront. It sounds very twee to say that, but when you have such a young team who may not have experienced difficult times before, the team being there for each other has been really important. And I've been lucky in that regard that some of the leaders I have are very people focused. So that's good. The relationships you have around your stakeholders and your suppliers, communication is critical. Do not wait for them to have to come to you. Be proactive and talk to your suppliers about what's going on. Things like payment terms, within week one of the event, we changed 1,500 suppliers' payment terms to immediate. That allowed cash to flow into those businesses instantly. And so that's just one little example, but positive and proactive communication about what the real issues are, and keeping them informed on a regular basis. Using social media and networking, I think has been really important for me personally. I had to achieve some things in a number of hours and 1 or 2 days. And so tapping into your network and keeping it live always, yes, I had to jump into the social media and ask for some help. But likewise, I have been helping and supporting a lot of other companies behind the scenes. And so it's created quite a lot of new relationships, and I'll continue with some of those. But, at one stage in 1 week, I thought I was the director of PPE for Sainsbury's, trying to source sanitizer and stuff. And, in any normal period, sourcing sanitizer would be a simple task. Became a military exercise globally, trying to create, not just to buy it, to find the ingredients, to find companies to help me make it. So that's just one of hundreds of solutions we've had to create. And that has brought out a very creative side to our vendor base and my own colleagues in the team. And they've enjoyed that quite immensely. Going back to your final point, back to the office, as somebody who spent 30 years leaving home very early on a Monday morning and coming back late Friday, maybe working from home 1 day a month, I'm going to turn that on its head and basically try and work out how I can be in an office 1 day a week, maybe just from a team event activity, but continue to operate remotely as best I can. Because my own personal time at home, I've exercised more, I've eaten more healthily, I sleep better, and I'm probably way more productive in this environment, even though it comes from a very negative situation. But there's a lot of learnings we can all take from it. So I know myself and to my colleagues and all CIPS members, let's find the positives from this new norm and not allow ourselves to revert back to the old ways. I'm sure, being human beings, we will try and navigate our way back to the old ways, but we have to fight against it. And I think that's something that we can all play a part in.
Brilliant, thank you. I think we'd all welcome striking that balance a bit more on our work-life agenda. So thank you for that.
We have to make it happen.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you for joining us today, and good luck to you and your team and your continued successes. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.